So we back at it again for Ready to Love season. I want to say it's 5. I'm not even sure. With new singles in their mid-30s to late 30s and early 40s out here wasting people time so they can get a gig in the acting world. I done caught on. Y'all, let's get into it. Cue the music. Oh yes, bitches and hoes. I'm back.
I'll drop a player like it's nothing, it ain't working out. Now no debate up for discussion, bitch, I'm walking out. My time is money, I ain't loving unless you toast it out. Flip my weave and walk it out, look how I just bossed it out. Now come on baby, why you bugging, we can't talk it out. I keeps it moving, I ain't tripping, lost another spouse. I'm just a boss, it's in my blood, no I won't scream or shout. Grabbing my keys.
Cause oh yes, bitches and hoes, I'm back. Back with another video we here to discuss. I was about to say Real Housewives of Potomac. Lord. Girl, we here to discuss Ready to Love Potomac. Now, I guess, they on the other side of the tracks. Because the Real Housewives of the Potomac girls, see, them is the classy, that's the upscale girls. But this side, they not bad. They just not on the other side of the tracks. So, I mean, you know what I will say, though? After looking at everybody's bio and then going on their Instagram to see who is who and what's really tea, what I found out was y'all looking for acting jobs. Everybody is an aspiring actor, singer, this, that, and the third. If y'all trying to act with a K, C-K, act, why y'all don't just go down to the own streets or to BET, girl? Tyler Perry and the own people hiring everybody. Y'all ain't got to go through this. But I guess we're going to go through the whole rigmarole to see who's ready to love. Child, please, let's get right into it. So the first person out the gate of Ready to Love Potomac, I was about to say Real Housewives again, is Paul. Now, Paul is 48. He's a software analyst. He says he needs sexual energy and substance from a woman. Basically, he want to come home and be like, yo, take this off the counter. Let's do it here. Let's do it there. He wants spontaneity when it comes to sex. But he also needs substance because he said he want to be with somebody forever. Now, Paul, if I wrote this down correctly, you 48. Do with that information as you please, people. Let's move on. Then we got Dakia. I want to say Dakia. She's 39. She's a senior systems engineer. She says she's a sucker for love and she's vaxxed and waxed and ready to relax. Come on now, Dakia, whatever your name is. But, I mean, okay, girl. She said her last dating has been her just swiping left. I've been there. I've swiped left and I swiped clean off the doggone app because the things that was coming through my DM, girl, I was scared. Let's move on. We got Tiffany. She's 37. She's a mobile education owner. What does that mean? A mobile education owner. So do you go around and teach the children? Mobile education. Are you like a tutor? Maybe something like that. I don't think she really got into the deets of it, but I'm going to go with tutor. So she's a mobile education owner. She says she likes to touch and to be touched. So she's a touchy-feely type of girl. She says she's a Southern girl and she can cook. Now, I forget the little town she said she was from, but she said her man need to bring home the bacon so she can fry it up in a pan. Now, y'all talk about traditional. Now, that's traditional. That girl Tiffany said that's what she wants. We meet Wiley. He's 32 and he's an athletic director and a musician. Every athlete want to be a musician and every musician want to be an athlete. Child, please. But, Wiley is the young dude. He's 32. These people are in their late 30s, mid 40s, early 40s. He's the young cat out the gate. But I saw his physique and how he was walking, talking about he coming in saying he treated like it's the playoffs. I'm like, oh yeah, he a jock. Sure enough, it's exactly what he was. I feel like he's going to have a challenge because he's younger. You always run into those young dudes who be like, oh, I love dating older women. Yeah. We get all that. But, I mean, I think he's going to have a challenge. I mean, he's cute or whatever, but I feel like he's going to have a challenge. Okay, his name is Wiley. He gets his name from his grandfather's middle name. I think his name, he said Clarence Wiley. He said, but he glad his my man named him Clarence and just took Wiley. In my opinion, they one and the same, child. You could have been Clarence or Wiley. I'm still going to look at the paper like you an old man. And will. So he played at Virginia Tech because the girl was like, one of the girls was like, oh my God, no, I'm lying. Paul asked him, was he into sports or did he, who's his team? And he mentioned the team. I want to say he said Virginia Tech, but then he said he got a AFC ring, or did he say NCAA? Either way, he had a ring, child. And the girl was like, oh yeah, I know this. I'm like, girl, you looking like a whole gold digger. It's just a football ring. He ain't paid for it. He got it for free, Mo. I mean, he worked for it, but you acting like the girl. Now I see what dudes be saying. But anyway, he says he's a jock. And being a jock has affected his dating life because people think that basically he a player, a Rolling Stone. A lot of them are, and it's just what it is. But as a athlete, I guarantee you'll find somebody who won't care if you're a Rolling Stone. Period. They always do. Let's move on. Then we meet Fernando. Fernando is 34. He's a risk analyst. A risk analyst. What type of risk? I'm getting too deep into it. He said he believes in chivalry, and chivalry is not dead. Come on now, Fernando. He's from Baltimore, and he said his ex had no respect for him, had men all up in through the house. I was like, dang, Fernando, you must be a real bitch. The only way a female could be that comfortable by disrespecting you by bringing a man in the house, you got to be a bitch. That's the only way I can see it. You got women, we crazy, but we ain't that crazy. To bring them up in your crib, child, Fernando, you telling a lot about yourself. Next, we got King. He's 39. He's a budget analyst. He says he likes to lead in the back. No, not King. Keena. My autocorrect. Keena. She's 39. She's a budget analyst. She likes to lead in the background. Basically, she want her man to feel like he's doing all the work, but she want to be pulling all the strings in the back. So you controlling is what you're saying. Bet. Gotcha. That's what I got from it. But she says she met Fernando. She shook his hand. She was like, look, I got enough ass for the both of us. I don't want my man ass to be big as mine. And I was like, ooh, Fernando must be shapely. Because I couldn't see it in that Men's Warehouse suit. But he must really be shapely. That's Fernando, I want to say right here. Yeah, he was real shapely in his suit, child. So we move on. We meet Demetrius. He's 42, a government contractor and prior military. Now, Demetrius had everybody's attention when he walked in. The girls were like, and I ain't gonna lie, he was chocolate and nice. He looked like he smelled good. But I ain't see the hype. All the girls was on Demetrius when he walked in. And I felt like Demetrius knows that. He's a government contractor, which means he probably got out of the military and went straight on the other side of the base to work as a civilian, but still got the military mindset. Probably real outgoing. It's the same old when you deal with them type of men. We meet Precious. She's 34. She's an IT consultant. And she hurried up and went grab Demetrius, baby. And said, look, all the ladies like him, and I get it, but let me go get my little piece before all the girls come swarming around like bees. Sabrina, she's 36. She's a nonprofit exec, and she came with a list. Now, Sabrina is the girl. That's her. Bless her heart. Sabrina looked like, she's a cute girl. Let me start there. Sabrina is a very cute girl. But the outfit gave me job interview / Sunday service / I don't know, first lady on a Saturday night service. That's what I was getting from her. She's a very cute girl, but I'm just like, girl, like, what do you have on? It's Jolly Rancher green. It's got shoulder pads, double-breasted. You're showing a little leg right there with your little split, your little 2-inch split, but yeah, let's move on. I ain't gonna do Sabrina like that. Laverne is the guy. He's 44. He's a lead technical analyst. I'm sorry. He said he wants to meet the one for him, and he's never really experienced someone who truly loved him. You know what's odd? People would look at him and be like, oh my God, but most people go through life like that. You don't believe me? Really think about people who you've really been around, and even family, friends, close relationships, all types of your relationships. And really think, do you really feel like there was a whole bunch of people who genuinely, truly loved you? And if you do, then that's amazing. But there are a lot of people who go through life and have experienced love, marriage, and all this stuff and still feel like they've never really, truly experienced true love. So I like Laverne for being honest about that. Clifton, he's 44. He's a project manager. He's a management consultant, I'm sorry. That's the one with the deep voice coming in like Barry White. Girl. There's something wrong with me. And then he was caramel and his lining was on point. Clifton, I like Clifton. Ooh, Clifton could just lay in the bed and talk to me, girl. But Clifton came through. He got the deep voice. Paul was over there getting all nervous talking about, oh Lord, he coming in like Barry White. All the girls gonna like him. Of course. Duh. We like to feel protected. And men with that's big in his stature and with the deep voice, we definitely gonna feel protected. Is you crazy? Like, that's what women want. Anyway, and so Clifton says he's a loud and fun and outgoing person, and he wants a girl who's the same. I wouldn't have guessed that from walking in, but I could be whatever you want, Clifton. Call me. Let's move on. Nephew Tommy shows up, girl. Nephew Tommy shows up and basically says, look, this is the season of quality over quality. No. Quality over quantity. Meaning, like, typically in the past, they started with 20 singles, but this time they're doing 7 and 7. Listen, thank you, Lord Tommy. Because last season, I had a whirlwind of trouble trying to remember who everybody was. Start us off with a couple of people, and then you can sprinkle some in as the season go by. We don't need to be starting off with 20 people we don't know nothing about. Now we got to remember names, but then we got to forget it because this one got kicked off. Man, look, I like it. Whoever was sitting down in the own executive room and must have said these people can't keep up with all these people and plus it's just too much going on. Shout out to you. You deserve a raise. So Tommy let him know that this season is about quality over quantity. Over quality. No. Quality over quantity. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm all over the place. And they start with 7 men and 7 women instead of 20. And basically he wants them to get to know each other and really find what they really want versus having so many people you mingling around, you know. Like, really find out who's really here for love so you can really find love. And he says, basically, you know, I know everybody's tired of all the dating scenes, going through the whole process of getting to know people over and over again. This way, we simplified it a little bit so that you can kind of narrow your pieces down, or your people down, in an earlier time frame. He basically says, you know, as usual, someone's going home every week. And he wants everybody to get to know everybody real good because tonight 2 of y'all going home. Now I was like, well, damn, I hope they ain't bring their bags in the house. Tonight, 2 of y'all? Ooh, child, let's move on. So they go to mingling because now everybody's trying to get to know each other. He also said that, no, I don't think he said if it was going to be men or women, but he said that 2 of them are going home. So Fernando goes grab Joy. Joy is a professional singer, and she's talking to Fernando. Now, Fernando is the one with the hips. Fernando grabs Joy. Joy's a professional singer. And basically, she feels like their conversation was more like an interview. She said it was like an interview process, you know, and it probably was the suit, Men's Warehouse, official. Not even a Steve Harvey collection. But it could have been because he on the Harvey, you know, people stuff. But she basically was like, look, even in the interview, nobody cares about who you are and your personality. We want to know if you can do the job. And right now, Mo, you look like you can't do the job. Let's move on. Wiley is the young dude. He's talking to Keena. Keena asked him immediately out the gate as he's trying to make small talk, baby, how old is you? When he told her age, she was just like, oh. So she gets in her confessional saying, I don't really dibble and dabble around with the young boys. And I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna hold her. I agree, because I don't dibble and dabble with the young boys neither. But I feel like the way Keena did it and went about it was very, like, rude, disrespectful. So as the boy's sitting up there saying, as all the young men do, oh, I love dating older women. I only date older women. Men, please stop saying that to women. But either way, he's pleading his case on how he loves dating older women, child. And Keena ain't trying to hear it. Keena was like, well, let me get up out of here. I'ma holler at you later. And then Wiley gets in his confession and was like, you know, I really feel like she was disrespectful. And she was. She really was. She didn't have to do that. But he said she was too outspoken. Why? Because she was upfront about saying she don't like young men. Granted, her delivery could have been better, but you tried it. We move on. Sabrina and Demetrius are talking. Now, Sabrina hurry up and went grab Demetrius because she's on him. And she said he was the first person that she noticed. And he says, he starts to talk about as they converse about him being married for 3 years. And says that there was infidelity on his part. And back then he wasn't ready to really, you know, be a husband. And he was being basically took all the accountability. And let me tell you something for military men. He ain't lying. All of them cheat. All of them cheat. All of them cheat. I don't care. Play with your mom. They cheat. And a lot of them get married at a young age in their careers because it's the thing to do. Everybody got to have a husband or a wife. And because of that, they don't be in love with these people, and that's why they cheat. Not to mention you always away from your spouse. So when he took accountability for that, I was here for it. Shout out to you, Demetrius, because you sound like a grown man right now. You sound like a grown man. But when he said he was the reason for infidelity issues, believe it, because he definitely was. Let's move on. So they're having a conversation. He took ownership of his infidelity issues and says he basically wasn't secure as a man. And then she starts to say how she was married, but it didn't work for them because they got married young. I'm telling y'all jumping off the porch at 19, 20, 21, 23 to get married. It's not likely that it lasts a really long time. Some of them do. Shout out to those. I'm not trying to be negative, but a lot of times when you marry young, you haven't really gotten to know who you are, by yourself. So that's a lot of times what happens. So they were able to connect on that. Demetrius like that, they had in common that they had a failed marriage, which for lack of better terms could have been said better, but it is what it is, and that they can connect about that. And I think that is true. They really could. But what I did appreciate about Sabrina was she said she went to counseling. Now this Sabrina right here now, this little Jolly Green. Sabrina said she went down there to the counseling people and got counseling, and she's ready to love. Come on now, Sabrina. I hope you wore your dress like this to go to the counseling. You look like you came out the counselor's office. Come on now, Sabrina. Let's move on. So Precious go to get Paul. Talk to Paul. Paul hollers, his name is P.O. She like P.O. P.O. like parole officer, like what do you mean? Like, and she even get in the confessional was like, but your name is Paul. I'm confused. He over there hollering, yeah, P.O. cause I like a post office cause I deliver. Paul, you too old for that shit. You tired and through. No wonder you single. You are too old to be running around with them horrible 1970s pickup lines. Post office cause you deliver your ass up out of my face. That's what I would have told him. But Precious was just like, yeah, I'm a dip. I'm going to move around because she wasn't feeling it either. So she goes to talk to Ace. Ace is the philanthropist. And he says he was married 10 years ago. And he says that she didn't give it a chance. And because he's like, dang, 10 years ago? And how long were you married? It wasn't that long ago. And you got divorced that quick. You just gave up. You didn't even give it a chance. How I know you're going to give it a chance with me? And who was it? Like Precious was saying, Precious was like, well, damn, like, you doing too much, bro. Like, back up off me. Like, it's not even cute how you moving around. So basically she says that she's uncomfortable and he's judgmental. But I feel like she had every right to feel the way she felt. That's just the bottom line. He was being very intrusive, very, what do you want to say, judgmental, as if she was the automatic reason they... Go sit your ass down, Paul. Precious talked to Tori. Tori is 39, and they mentioned the Romeo and Juliet, and she goes, I didn't really care for that story because a lot of times your family will have you, making decisions that's not really best for you. Now, what they were able to connect on was that Tori says that he doesn't know what real love looks like or what it feels like because he had a mother who didn't show that to him. He said that his mother was military and she was gone most of the time out overseas, Iraq and all that stuff. And he doesn't really know what real love feels like, and he really wants that. Now, on the flip side, Precious can relate because Precious says that her and her parents didn't have a good relationship. Actually, her mom, I guess, either gave her to the aunt, and her aunt raised her in an untraditional family household, and it gave her appreciation to know that, hey, you don't have to have a mama and a daddy. But she's also relatable to the fact that, hey, I don't know what real love looks like either. And I don't know what it feels like. Again, really think about it. There's a lot of people out here who have that same experience. Let's move on. So they were able to connect. I think basically Tori really feels her for that. Because he finds a source of comfort and relief and understanding in a woman who knows exactly how he feels. But I feel like Precious is just a hoe. And she gonna make her rounds. So I'm just saying, don't put all your feelings and all your eggs in one basket. I'm sorry. So nephew Tommy comes out. He says he wants to talk to the ladies. He asked the girls who caught your eye. Precious says Demetrius. Really, all the ladies say Demetrius. Demetrius is everybody's number one. I understand. And then Clifton is everybody's really, for the most part, number two. But Precious says she really likes Tori, and Keena likes Laverne. Okay, so we move on, and Tommy asks, okay, so who are you not feeling? Overwhelmingly, all the girls don't like Fernando and Paul. I don't blame them. They both weird. Fernando got the hips of a lady after her BBL, and he's just awkward. And then Paul is just old and tired and through with the pickup PO lines. I don't blame him. Y'all got to go. Send them both home. I don't know if they send them home too many at this point, but send them both home. Ace basically says that he's combative because of her situation and her experience with him judging her about the marriage and stuff, and I get it. So Paul explains the tattoo of So they goes back, they reconvene, everybody's out there, nephew Tommy coming out there. Paul over there explaining his tattoo, talking about it's Black Iron Man. If this was the dating pool, I see why people single, girl. Get your old ass up out my face. Nephew Tommy come back and says one man is about to go home. Paul getting his doggone confession and was like, I'm confident it ain't me, so let me just sit back and chill and relax. Well, Paul, don't you hold your breath. Fernando said he ain't, no, Fernando didn't say nothing. Basically, we get down to it. Nephew Tommy say Fernando overwhelmed me, leaving women say you ain't ready to love, you got to go. Now, this is where I will say I appreciate Fernando. Fernando says he didn't get the job done. And basically, he says that he'll take that into consideration, because he thought he was connecting with people, but apparently he wasn't doing everything he needed to do. So he'll take that into consideration in the future. I like a man who takes failure and makes success out of it and use it as lessons to learn. I like it. But just when everybody thought that they was about to go back and have drinks, girl, Nephew Tommy was just like, yeah, just so y'all know, a woman about to go home too. So go ahead and finish mingling. I'll be back in about an hour. So all the women goes to grabbing on all the men. It was almost like a doggone pork chop dangling over a tunnel of hungry men, child. All of them just running up to all of these men. And I was just like, well, what is going on? So after we move on to the next scene, Joy is talking to Clifton. Clifton is the man that everybody likes with the deep voice. And basically, Joy talking to Clifton, and he was like, so where we going on our first date? I was like, ooh, I like a man who already thinking forward. She was like, well, I don't know. I mean, it depends, whatever. He was like, well, I need to know your level of athleticism, before I just plan a date. And she was like, surprise me. And I'm like, yeah, Clifton, surprise us. Call me. Surprise us, Clifton. So, yeah. He gets in the confessional, she gets in the confessional and says basically what she likes about their connection is she don't have to pull back layers with him. It's very natural. And I think that's extremely important. And he says basically the same thing. I can really deal with and talk to this person and don't feel like I have to do any extra in order to get, you know what I mean? So I like that. We move on. Tiffany is talking to Tori, and basically she says she has 2 kids and she's afraid of moving too fast. Tori asked her, he was like, have your kids ever seen you hurt? Because her thing is she don't want to get hurt. And he asked, have her kids ever seen her hurt? I want to say she said yes. But either way, it's just like, it's kind of difficult when there's kids involved, especially if you really care about your kids. You care about having people around, certain people around, so I get it. Laverne is talking to Sabrina, but in the middle of them talking, Precious run up and grab him. And I was like, wait a minute, Precious, weren't you just connected with Tori talking about you don't believe in leaving people astray, you want to help him and be around him? Girl, what is you doing? Precious grabbed him up and talks to him and says that she mentions him being a bodybuilder. And he was like, oh, you know that? And she goes, yeah, because I want to actually do bikini modeling too. So while they're in the midst of talking, Keena walks up and was like, in the middle of it. And I'm like, Keena, where your ass come from? Keena walks up and was like, yeah, what's up? Precious don't like that. Because Precious was just like, yeah, see, he too social. He need a woman to really get him in line. Now, hold up, Precious. Didn't you just run up on him while he was talking to somebody else? Precious, you out of order. Stop it, girl. You're doing too much. And you sound controlling and crazy is how you sound. You need to really check that. So we move on. Clifton is talking to Dakaya, but Clifton and Dakaya are really vibing. They start talking about a 5-year plan and how they both want to live near the water. They don't mind moving out of the country and all of this stuff. And I'm like, oh, they really women. Like, they really are connecting. And who walks up with Keena? Looking like a lost puppy. Oh, can I sit right here? Keena, what you just over... Girl, what? What? Dakaya looked like she didn't really appreciate that, but she wasn't going to say nothing. So then Clifton turns to Dakaya and asks her, okay, so girl, what's your 5-year plan? What are you trying to do? And she gets in her confession about 5-year plan. I just wasn't feeling well. I was looking for aspirin. Keena, why are you here? So Keena was just like, well, I mean, I moved to Houston, Atlanta, typical black woman, black people stuff. Everybody want to move to Houston and Atlanta. Girl, if y'all don't get y'all behind the body and go up to Ohio somewhere, girl, either way, it ain't working though. It's just not. And I don't blame him. So nephew Tommy talks to the guys and he asks the guys, hey, what's going on? Paul gives the whole PO and what it stands for. The dudes is laughing and I'm like, y'all lame as hell too. Y'all need to tell them that shit lame. I'm sorry. So now Tommy is asking who delivered the connection. All the men like Sabrina. All of them say Sabrina delivered the connection. Tori says Precious because she looks like or she feels like she'll give you her all. Tori, she'll give it to you and everybody else. You better watch it back. Clifton says Dakaya. Laverne says Precious, and Clifton and Demetrius both say Joy. Now, Demetrius is the hot commodity, so he like Joy, so I'm just saying. So then Tommy asks who they don't have a connection with. Everybody overwhelmingly said Keena. Well, Keena, you was being very weird and awkward. I don't blame him. I wouldn't have had a connection with your ass either. They holler she ain't got no vibe or connection. I don't blame him. Wiley and Paul say Ace. Tori says Tiffany. And Demetrius... he says that he don't want to just date a beautiful woman just because he's beautiful. He really wants to connect with a woman. Thank you, Demetrius. I think too often with men, they date these beautiful women. And don't get me wrong, you got to be attracted to the person you date. But when they have them horrible experiences, they've typically taken out on all women. It's just not fair and it's not right. So I really like that Demetrius has matured emotionally to understand that it ain't about just the booty. I'm sorry, the beauty. You know what I mean? It's actually about getting to know who the person is and who's your match. So nephew Tommy approached the people and said, we about to send a woman home. Laverne is over there scared. No, Laverne is over there scared and he hope it's not Precious or Sabrina because those are the two that he connected with. Dakaya is super nervous. She don't want to go home. And Tommy tells him, look, it's 2 women on the chopping block, Tiffany and Keena. And in my mind, I was like, definitely Keena's going home, without a doubt. But, sure enough, Keena, you ain't ready to love. Keena, you got to go. Get up out of here. I don't know who told you come on the show. I hope you didn't bring nothing out the car to the house. Girl, you got to go. Keena gets up out of there, and she understands that she's guarded, and her attitude may have come off nonchalant. And, she'll fix that in the future as well. This was the first episode of Ready to Love. I will say again, I love that we're not meeting so many people all at once, off the cuff, out the gate. That's too much. I actually know who most of these people are by face, if not by name as well. So shout out to the people, the producers down there on. Y'all got it right this time. Sprinkle them in as we go, because it looks like foreshadowing. They're going to be sprinkling people as they go. Drop down in the comments and let me know what y'all thought about this week's episode. I thought it was good. Much better than the last one, because maybe I was too lost and it was all too new. I don't know. But don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you hoes later. Bye.